We'll start with the prayers. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We are studying Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. The title of this chapter is Sankhya Yoga. It consists of 72 verses, one of the biggest chapters of Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter and the 18th chapter are big chapters. So if you are practicing chanting, it will take you a slightly longer time than the other chapters. The other chapters probably you can finish between 15 minutes to say 25 minutes each chapter. What we have seen last week is a bird's eye view of the second chapter. So this is what we discussed last week in the end of our talk, and I gave you a broad classification of the second chapter into 4 main parts. The first part is Arjuna's surrender, which is what we are going to discuss today. The second part is Jnana Yoga. The third part is Karma Yoga. And the last section is Sthita Prajna portion. Sthita Prajna means what are the indications of a person who is a jnani. I have already covered the details of these 4 sections last week. I will proceed to the next section, which is the section between 55 to 72. The 4th section of this chapter 2 describes a jnani. Suppose you are having the qualifications of a seeker: Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Adi, Shatka, Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. Suppose you have the 4 qualifications and you study the Bhagavad Gita. At the end of the Gita, you will know that you have become a jnani. It is a drishta phalam. It is known by a person, known by a seeker, that whatever he has been seeking in life has been sought. That is what is called as the benefit of the study of Bhagavad Gita. In this portion, I am just giving you a bird's eye view. This is like an advertisement for the second chapter. The 55th verse talks about what happens to a jnani. The 54th verse is Arjuna asks a question to Lord Krishna. Sthita prajñascha ka bhasha. How will you describe a person who has got self-knowledge? We are not talking about objective knowledge here. We are talking about subjective knowledge, which is Aham Brahma Asmi. I am the ultimate reality, which is what Gita will teach us. How does he behave after? How can I recognize that person in the society? The first verse is, a jnani has all desires satisfied. According to Veda, we have got 4 purusharthas, 4 goals of life, which I have discussed before. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama are three goals which is included in moksha. So by pursuit of Jnana Yoga, you can get all the four Purusharthas fulfilled. First lesson of Lord Krishna regarding a Jnani. The 56th verse talks about his general characteristics of his mind. A Jnani is free from Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha. Attachment, aversion, fear, anger. He is free from that. Why is he free? Because he attaches his identity with Atma. All of us are identified with something. Either we are identified with our body or self, body is myself, mind is myself. But a Jnani's difference is, he says, I am the Atma. I am not a human being, but I am a supreme being in this world. He doesn't say that to everybody he meets. He knows within himself his true identity. See, all these verses, when we hear, we also feel like becoming a Jnani. Because all these emotions are the ones which keep troubling us all the time. The 57th verse again is an extension of the 56th verse. Here he says, a Jnani does not rejoice or hate anybody. If good situations come in his life, he is samatvam. He is in equipoise. If there are bad situations, if there are people who act like enemies to him, he doesn't hate them, but he says this is their nature. From 58 to 61 is a wonderful example of how to control our sense organs. Kurmangani, that means a tortoise. Kurmaha. Kurma means tortoise. A tortoise, if you see, when it walks, it will keep moving very slowly. Number one. Number two, whenever it comes across any obstacles, it will withdraw all its limbs into itself. Similarly, Lord Krishna says, a wise Jnani is like a tortoise. Whenever there are situations of Artha Kama in the world, he will slowly withdraw his sense organs, because it is the sense organs contact with the sense objects which is the cause of Kama. Why does he do it? Because he is interested in maintaining his identity with Atma. It's a wonderful section for all psychologists, psychiatrists. They can teach their patients how they can live in this world without delusions. Very important section. 62 and 63, it gives us the ladder of fall for all Ajnanis. Ajnani means a person who does not know Atma. Most of us, when we start the Bhagavad Gita, we are also like this person. How do we fall from our Atma Swarupam to destroying ourselves in this very body itself? He gives different steps here. Vishaya Dhyanam is the first step. Thinking about objects of desires. Thinking of the objects continuously for a few years, few months, few weeks causes attachment towards those objects. I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car, I want to buy this car only. Keeps on ringing in our mind. What happens then? A desire comes. When the desire is fulfilled, then desire fulfilled leads to more desire. I want to have a better car. Suppose a desire doesn't get fulfilled, it results in sorrow. I didn't get that car, I didn't get that prize, I didn't get that post, I didn't become a doctor in life. I wanted to become a doctor, but I didn't become. Throughout your life, you keep on thinking about it. This person scolded me 20 years ago like this. 20 years ago, forget about it. What the problem of sorrow is? Repetition of those incidents in your life. Again and again, your mind keeps on thinking. And normally, a person does not know how to come out of those repeated sorrowful thoughts in the mind. Krishna gives us a wonderful tip. He says, come to me, I will teach you Atma Jnana, and by which you will get rid of this problem. Any sorrow, as you have seen in the first chapter, always leads to delusion, confusion in the mind. Whenever there is confusion in the mind, you forget dharma. There is a loss of memory for right and wrong. And when there is a loss of memory, or you are not able to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, and then what does that lead to? It leads to sinful actions. Ultimately, you perish. Perish spiritually. Physically, you are still alive, but what happens is, this is the ladder of fall for a ajnani. Wonderful section again. Shankaracharya's Bhashyam is also absolutely amazing. We'll study that. 64 to 68. How does a wise man control his raga and dvesha? What really happens? Here an example is given of a wind which carries away a boat in the high sea. So, like the wind which carries away the boat, the sense organs are carried away by the ajnanis into the world. Whereas a wise man, he is able to fix something in the boat so that he is not driven away by the wind. A motor which can hold on the boat. What is that motor? Atma Jnana. 69th verse talks about the sleep state of all of us. Yanisha sarva bhutana tasyam jagrami sanyami. All of us, we go to sleep every night. A jnani knows he never sleeps. Physically, yes, he will go to sleep. But spiritually, he is an enlightened master. Enlightened master means what? He knows there is an eternal light of Atma which is always there in waking, dream and sleep. That eternal light in Mandukya Upanishad is called as Turiya. So he says, I am that Atma which is Nitya Triptaha Nitya Jyoti, eternal light. Then 70 to 72 is the conclusion of the second chapter, and where Lord Krishna says, this wise man who has understood the Atma described in chapter 2 between the verses 12 to 25. He is a person who has merged with the self. Merged with the self means what? Normally, we all live an egocentric life. All of us. We lead an egocentric life. Ego is a appearing and disappearing phenomena in this body-mind complex. Appears, disappears. Appears, disappears. The entire ego, if you want to understand in Mandukya language, it is waker plus dreamer plus sleeper. That is the ego. I am a waker. I experience all this waking world. It is an ego. I am a dreamer. I dreamt a wonderful dream yesterday. Ego. I slept very peacefully. I enjoyed my sleep. Ego. So ego is the I notion which is attached to the physical body in waking, the subtle body in dream, and causal body in the sleep state. Tattvabodha, revision of Tattvabodha. But who am I? I am not the physical body, I am not the subtle body, I am not the causal body. I am the pure, supreme being. Knowing this is called as Samadhi state. Brahmi Sthitihi, that is the title given to a Jnani at the end of 72nd mantra. The entire Bhagavad Gita study is to attain this Brahmi Sthitihi. Brahmi Sthitihi is a state in which I alone am there, which is my intrinsic nature, which is called as Atma, my Swarupam. Very, very beautiful section. This entire second chapter is very well known in the Shastras for this particular section called Man of Steady Wisdom. Sthita Prajnaha. Okay. Now, that ends my summary talk of the second chapter. Now we will do the Moolam study of the first 10 verses between this week and next week. We will see how much we can cover, but let us start with the verse by verse meaning of the second chapter. Why I am saying up to the 10th chapter is this Moolam study, verse wise study. We are just going to study the verse and its meanings. After the 10th verse, we are going to start Shankara Bhashya. We are going to start a commentary of Shankaracharya on the second chapter from the 11th verse. I hope I can continue from the 11th verse till the 72nd verse for the chapter 2 with Shankaracharya's commentary. That is my goal. With the grace of Lord, we can all try to study that and see how we can enjoy this chapter and also get a very deep understanding of the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is chapter 2. As I said before, this chapter is called as Sankhya Yoga. Yoga of Atma Jnanam. Sankhya means Atma. Union with Atma. Knowledge of Atma. With this, I will start the first verse.
Sanjaya Uvacha Sanjaya Uvacha तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः.
In the first chapter, towards the end, Arjuna drops his bow and arrow and sits down. Now, in the second chapter, Sanjaya, who is the commentator of the battlefield, to Dhritarashtra, this verse is a verse belonging to Sanjaya, not to Arjuna, not to Krishna. So what does Sanjaya says? He says, Arjuna has sat down in the chariot. He is bowing towards Lord Krishna. And Krishna is going to help Arjuna. Arjuna had to choose earlier. When Arjuna had to choose, Lord Krishna gave the option. Either you choose me or you can choose my entire army. This was what was proposed. Now Duryodhana rushed and took the army. He never gave Arjuna the choice of the army. He first, immediately, as soon as the choice is given to two people, if somebody immediately jumps at something, Duryodhana felt that having Krishna's army will be a great asset, because army gives victory. But they did not know what is the role of Krishna. Wow, what role will he play? Arjuna chose Krishna without his weapons. So this is a lesson to us that in life, if we have to choose between wealth and Lord, choose Lord, because he will give you a greater wealth. He will give you a wealth of Atma Jnanam, which will save you from repeated births. A purpose of avatara is to protect dharma in the society. In the fourth chapter, 8th verse, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. If the society has to remain in balance between dharma and adharma, dharma has to be followed. So Krishna became an avatara of the Lord Ishvara, and in this particular Bhagavad Gita, he is a teacher. He becomes a teacher to protect Arjuna. Kripaya avishtaha. Kripaya avishtaha. Now, Lord Krishna is trying to identify what is Arjuna's problem. Kripa means compassion, love, attachment, mercy, which is a product of I and mine. I notion and my notion, which is the ego. Supreme love is there for somebody. But if it is in the wrong place at a wrong time, that is a problem. Love for a person at the right place at the right time is good. For example, Bhishma and Drona. They were in the opposition, fighting for Artha and Kama. Now, Arjuna was trying to forget himself as a soldier. Avishtaha means tejas, a funny logic he had in his mind. We all have the same problem. Sometimes when there is delusion in the mind, it is called as avishtaha. Our intellect is covered. We become helpless. So this avishtaha is a big problem for all of us. We have to recognize ourselves. When do we become helpless in life? Arjuna, out of control, was overpowered by compassion for his guru and grandfather. Ashrupurna akula kulekshanam. What does it mean? A person who was courageous before coming to fight the battle. He had strength, but when he saw with whom he has to fight, Ashrupurna means tears were swelling up in his eyes because his emotions were taking control of his intellect. Some commentators have said that Arjuna started weeping because of his emotions. There were tears in his eyes. And who is Krishna? He is a destroyer of demons. Now, what is the biggest demon in this battlefield? Arjuna's mind, which was having shoka and moha. In all of us, outside, if there are some problems, we can sort out because we are quite objective in our mind. But when the problem comes in our own mind and intellect, we will never be able to understand our problem. Somebody else, either our brother, our sister, our parents, our teacher, our boss, or our friend, they will be able to notice our problem. So in this particular case, Krishna, the teacher, understood shokha and moha, sorrow and delusion in Arjuna's mind, and he thought he has to make a teaching. He said in his own mind, Krishna's mind, he took charge of Arjuna in the battlefield, and then he gave the teaching of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So what does the first verse say? Sanjaya Vacha means it is Sanjaya who is conveying to Dhritarashtra that Arjuna was completely shattered with misplaced love and compassion in the battlefield. Kripaya Vishtam means attachment was the main problem for this misplaced love. Vishidantam. Vishidantam means sorrow in the mind. Normally sorrow, some element of sorrow we can control. But sometimes sorrow from the mind goes to the body level. Your body starts shivering, body starts reacting, body starts weeping. Tears are falling down. Suppose somebody is talking to you, he says, I was very sad yesterday. It is at the mind level. But suppose this person starts weeping and said, oh, you did this to me, she did this to me, and I did this to her, and and she is completely, the sorrow from mind has come to the body level. So Ashrupurna Kulekshanam means it's complete distress in the mind of Arjuna. To such an Arjuna, the Lord addressed. That is what Sanjaya says.
श्रीभगवानुवाच श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वा कश्मलमिदं कुतस्त्वा कश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन.
So to Arjuna, Lord Krishna makes the first statement. This is the first statement of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. What does he say? He tries to comfort Arjuna. What does he tell Arjuna? You are such a great person, but right now you are in a different condition. You seem like an Aryan. You are so courageous. But here you look disgraceful. Why is it? What happened to you? This is the start. You see, when somebody wants to, when somebody comes to you for help or he is crying, the first thing you should say is, hey, why are you crying? Isn't it? That's a natural thing. That is exactly what Lord Krishna is doing. Dhanavan, Vidyavan. Vidyavan means knowledgeable person. That knowledge which is there throughout one's life is Vidyavan. Atmajnani, a person who has got knowledge of Atma, he is a Vidwan. He remains a Jnani not 1 day or 2 days. Throughout his life, he remains a Vidwan. He remains Vidwan means he remains a knowledgeable person. What is the definition of the Lord? See, we have our own definitions about ourselves. But Shastra gives a definition of the Lord. Definition of Lord is a person who has got tremendous power, highest power. And what are the 6 main powers of the Lord? Aishwaryam. He has got a power to control the minds of all the beings and the world, entire world, through the laws of nature. Dharma, virtue. He is a noble person. Power without nobility is of no use. So you should become noble with power. Even CEOs, they have to remain noble in their performances in the companies. Yashas. A Lord is one who has got greatest amount of fame. Why? Because he is the controller of the world. Who will not bow down to Lord? Who will not talk about the glory of the Lord? Because there is some entity which controls my digestion, which controls the power of the sun, which controls the movements of the stars. A little bit of change in those laws can perish the whole earth. So that is the glory of the Lord. Shriya, greatest wealth belongs to the Lord because the whole cosmos belongs to Him. Vairagya, wealth without attachment is good, which is called as dispassion. I may have tremendous amount of money, but I am not attached to the money. I use the money for comfort. So Lord has got vairagyam. He can withdraw from all his powers and remain in his own intrinsic nature, which is Atma. Moksha, that is also another power. A jnani also gets the powers of moksha. We also can get the power of moksha. Moksha means liberation. I am not bound to this body, mind. Lord is not bound to this world. He is not bound to the cosmos. He is ever free. So Bhagavan's real wealth is lordship, aishwaryam, virtue, which is dharma, glory, which is yashas, wealth, which is shri, dispassion, which is vairagyam, and knowledge, which is moksha. And he has got in abundance all this. That is why he is called as Bhagavan. What about Arjuna now? But Arjuna, he has got a problem. Kashmalam. Kashmalam means mental dirt. Delusion is called as mental dirt. Ajnanam, ignorance, is called as mental dirt. Kama, desires, attachment, anger, jealousy, these are all kashmala. They are all deficiency in the mind. Vishame samupastitam. In this situation, in this dangerous situation between the two armies, O Arjuna, why are you losing your mind? Kutaha. You have some mental problems, mental issues. Therefore, your nobility is getting questioned. So Arjuna's thinking process, his mindset can be divided into three portions. He has to get knowledge or purify his mind to get moksha. Higher loka, now he is thinking of higher loka by, he can think about going to Swarga. He can, one way he can think is, I want to purify my mind. Second way is, that I will go to Swarga by dying in the war. Third is, in this world itself, I will get glory. I will fight and I'll get glory. I'll win the battle. So these are the three possible situations which Lord Krishna analyzed in his mind. Either he can fight the battle, win the glory, win the fame, and become a king. Winning the battle. Second is he can withdraw from the battlefield, get moksha by doing jnana yoga. Third is he can follow dharma and get punyam, and follow dharma means follow the battlefield, fight in the battlefield. He may get killed there. If he gets killed, doesn't matter, he will get swarga. So, Bhagavan is able to analyze these situations, and then he is saying, Aswargyam akirtikaram. If you give up your duty, it will be sin. You have delusion in your mind because of wrong thinking. How has this dirt come to you is the first statement. Arjuna, Lord Krishna has understood the mindset of Arjuna, the three situations, and how Arjuna is thinking now is, I will withdraw and I will not fight the war. That is the confusion which Lord Krishna wants to solve.
क्लैभ्यं मास्म गमः पार्थ क्लैब्यं मास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यं क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप.
So what is Lord Krishna's first instruction to him? Get up, stand up, uttishtaha. Don't be weak in your mind. Get up. You are a courageous warrior. Don't lose your manliness. Don't lose your vitality to fight, strength, your bravery. This is a time when we need energy in your actions. And Arjuna had got Pashupata Shastra from Lord Shiva. So he has got weapons from the Lord. All what Lord Krishna is saying is he is boosting Arjuna and said, come on, first of all get up. So when somebody is coming to you for help, the first thing is you should make that person take charge of the situation. You have to tell the person. See, these are all wonderful practical lessons for all of us when we are dealing with situations in life. We also have a role to play when somebody is in sorrow. And how to treat sorrow is very beautifully explained in this Bhagavad Gita. Hridaya daurbalyam. Hridayam means mind plus heart. You must, right now Arjuna was having daurbalyam. His heart was weak. His mind was weak. Shudram means petty. You're thinking of small little things in the battle, but you're forgetting your role to fight the war. So first he says, get up. Arjuna had sat down in the chariot before. In the last chapter, I said he had dropped his bow and he had sat. Now Lord Krishna is saying, get up, get up. You will not be able to get up until and unless weakness of heart goes away. Parantapa, one of the ways in which Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna is Parantapa. Parantapa means one who can scorch the enemies. You are that. Give up your small-heartedness, gain strength, and do your duty. Oh Parantapa. Change your thinking. This is thinking, wrong thinking is the basic problem for all of us. How do I correct my thinking? Learn Atma Jnanam. So that is the message in this verse. Next verse.
Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmamaham sankhe katham bhishmamaham sankhe द्रोणं च मधुसूदना द्रोणं च मधुसूदना इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्ह वरिसूदना पूजार्ह वरिसूदना.
So now is Arjuna's time, Arjuna's reaction to what Lord Krishna says. Lord Krishna said, come on, get up, fight. Arjuna says, how can I fight? How can I fight? In the next 2-3 verses, Krishna's mindset is coming out. So Arjuna's mindset is going to reveal his mindset. In this verse, he says, how can I kill Bhishma and Drona? Do you know who they are? They are fit to be worshipped. I should do Pada Puja for them. And now you are telling me destroy these people. Madhusudana means a one who has killed Madhu, demon. Madhu is a asura. So basically, Arjuna, I don't find any demons here or any. If you want me to kill enemies, but then it's okay. I can kill. But who can you see who's there in front of me in the battlefield? My grandfather is there right in front. And who is Drona? Drona is my teacher. They are worthy of being worshipped with flowers. I should put flowers in their legs and worship them, do Pada Puja. And you are telling me go and fight with arrows, kill them. I can't even speak harshly to them. To my grandfather, normally speaking, I can't even talk to them a little angrily. I have emotions of love, respect, reverence for those people whom you are asking me to fight. What is the basic lesson here? Bhishma and Drona have joined the wrong party to fight. They are fighting in the adharma side. That is why Krishna says fight.
Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapiha loke Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapiha loke Hatvartha kamamstu guruni haiva Hatvartha kamamstu guruni haiva Bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan Bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan.
See, Arjuna still has not understood his problem. Now he is trying to give defense arguments of not fighting. He goes one level higher to Lord Krishna. He says it is better for me to go and beg on the streets than to fight this teacher and kill them. Even if I kill them, suppose I kill them and I can get the kingdom, but I will not be able to enjoy the kingdom because of the remembrance of killing my own grandfather and teacher. See, all this is only to say that even in a battlefield, you can get Atma Jnanam. So don't worry if you are in the middle of some situations in life. Your own life may be like a battlefield for you. So if Atma Jnanam was taught to Arjuna in the battlefield, you and I can learn the same Atma Jnanam right now in this situation, wherever we find ourselves. So this verse is quite simple. The main thing is, Guru is a respectful person. He should be treated well. I cannot fight them. That is the central message in this verse. I am ready to I am ready to be a beggar, bhiksham, and I can go and beg for food. I am a king. Normally I will take care of people, but I am now ready to even go and take diksha. Don't ask me to fight this battle. Gurus are in adharma, supporting Kauravas. Artha Kaman Guru. That means they are Guru who is fighting the war, according to Lord Krishna, he is fighting for Artha and Kama. They are also fighting so that Kauravas can get the kingdom and they can have an entertainment in their life. So, what does Arjuna think? Arjuna is about 75 years old. In the Vedic period, people used to live for 150 years. 75 years he has to live more. Lord Krishna was also 75 years. If you study the Mahabharata, you will get these details. So, I will be living the balance 75 years not in moksha or swarga, but in a pitiable situation. I'll be staining my blood. Even if I get the kingdom, I don't think I can enjoy my life. This is the thinking of Arjuna.
न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे दार्तराष्ट्राः तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे दार्तराष्ट्राः.
So this is the last verse of Arjuna's mindset, where he says that it is better for me to get conquered in the battlefield. It is better for me to even get killed in the battlefield. I don't want to fight this war. Now he is slowly expressing that he is confused. I can't say what is better for me. There are two extreme ends. One is fight the war and see my teacher and guru, teacher and grandfather in the Artha Kama field, joining Kauravas, the enemies, with whom I am fighting. Second is, I can look at it from Himsa angle. Oh, I should not fight with them. I should drop my bow and arrow. I should give up and live a life of bhiksha. So either I fight or I withdraw and suffer the terrible loss of not having the kingdom. Either kill them and enjoy, or lose the kingdom and live a life of bhiksha. Should I fight the war or should I withdraw? So, even though Arjuna was a great warrior, noble warrior, he understood in this particular situation that he was confused. In the first chapter, Arjuna thought he was not wrong. In the second chapter, he started saying it is wrong to fight. First chapter he just gave up his bow and arrow. He was confused. Second chapter he thinks fighting this war is adharma. Why? Because it is because of pollution in his mind. It is because of wrongful thinking. And Arjuna had the wisdom before he came to the war, but now in the middle of the battlefield, he is having a problem, a confusion in his intellect. So, action which doesn't justify the knowledge, our aspirations, is a sinful action. You see, all of us do actions. But suppose those actions we follow are not in line with the dharma, then those are called as sinful actions. Noble actions or meritorious actions are without selfishness and they lead to purity. Suppose I do actions and I get some things in life, but I'm not able to enjoy them. There's no use. My mind will not be pure. Suppose I do actions, even if I don't get, say, all the wealth, but I lead a normal dharmic life, then it will purify my mind. This will be taught more in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where we will be studying what is karma and what is karma yoga. Karma means a normal action, we just keep on doing actions. Karma yoga is where the goal is purity of mind. I want purity, therefore I will do karma yoga. We will discuss this more in detail when we are in the 3rd chapter. Lord Krishna will take a very deep analysis of right action. Actions which are self-insulting are supposed to be papam. All actions which are self-congratulatory. Suppose after doing an action, you feel that I have done something wrong. You feel insulted. I may have done the action, but it's a self-image. What is your self-image after the action? Do you feel that, yes, I have done and I am very happy, or you feel, oh, I have done the action but I am not happy? If you say, I have done and I feel happy at the end of the action, it is called as punya. And this is a very deep psychological topic which you will also understand as we learn more and more of Atma Jnanam. You will learn the difference between punyam and papam at the mental level. Thoughts, how they affect our mind. I've already said, in the case of purity, it will lead to Swarga. In the case of selfish attitudes, it is a punyam which is wasted. What gives punyam is, it helps us to purify our thoughts, which is called as nobility in the mind. Less of anger, less of greed, less of desire, more compassion, more accommodativeness. That is all called as punyam. Good actions will result in punyam. Bad actions and attitudes, with what attitude we do the action, is also very, very important. So, hridaya daurbalyam, don't give way to unmanliness in situations when you are confused. Rise up. Bhishma and Drona are not right in their thought process. They are fighting an unjust war. You are a warrior in the battlefield. You are a Kshatriya. You cannot fall down. You have to do your duty as Kshatriya. Krishna, a friend, a confidant of Arjuna, wants to teach Arjuna and change his mindset. So far we have seen Arjuna asking Krishna for guidance. The seventh mantra is a very important mantra for all of us. Let's see what does it say.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम् शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
This is a completely, it is a verse which can change the entire direction of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna in this verse asks Lord Krishna to be a guide. And he tells Lord Krishna, I am your disciple. You are my teacher, I am your disciple. Instruct me, take me within your refuge, because you know what should be done in this current situation. If someone comes to you with this type of mindset, you have to help them. Many a times people come to us for money, for status, for promotions, for this, so many times. I mean, even our own children, they come to us, oh, I'm in a problem. If somebody comes to us with this mindset, understand this verse, the mindset of Arjuna. Arjuna is in sorrow, he is in delusion. He is asking for moksha sadhana. A few commentators of Bhagavad Gita, including Shankaracharya, says this verse, number 7, is the verse where Arjuna is asking for moksha shastra. Indirectly, he doesn't know. But what is moksha shastra? Moksha shastra is getting rid of sorrow in life. Why do we study Bhagavad Gita? We study Bhagavad Gita because intrinsically we all understand that there is sorrow in life. If you don't have this understanding about sorrow in life, you will never come to Bhagavad Gita, never come to study Bhagavad Gita. So what happens when you have sorrow? The first thing you do is find a teacher, find a guide. Even when we drive a car, we have a GPS to give us directions, how to go about. For our own life, which is so precious for us, in this life we can do so many activities, so many things in this life. But if we have a proper guide, he will guide us as to how I should lead the life. Sorrow is full of energy. It will deplete the energy in your body. It drains the energy. It will not allow you to do your own duty. So therefore, you are pushed to find a teacher. You are pushed to find a solution to a sorrow. Suppose somebody has got a problem in his life, a problem in himself, he will try to find a solution immediately. Because sorrow leads to delusion. And delusion gives a reason for spiritual pursuit. Sorrow will tell you loudly, I am here. Delusion will not announce itself as loudly as sorrow. Delusion is much more subtler. The discovery that I am deluded have to be made by us whenever we feel sorrowful. Sorrow and delusion, they go together. So what is this? What is the more subtler thing than sorrow and delusion? That is ignorance about my true nature. This is the point which Lord Krishna, because he was a jnani, because he was the Lord of the world, he knew that the basic problem where all of us are in sorrow or in delusion is ajnanam. I don't know I am Atma. Therefore, I think I am that ego mind which comes and goes, which throws delusions, which projects stories, which projects. The ego is always constructing a story every day, every moment. So I fall down because of those wishful thinking. One tries to postpone the solution for sorrow, but sometimes sorrow creates an emergency. It wants you to take an immediate action. For example, it can be a medical situation where you feel, oh, I have to rush to the hospital. But sometimes, if it is a delusion, it is not a physical condition, you need a teacher. Arjuna had all the 4 qualities of a seeker. Viveka, Vairagya, Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva. This is the entire Tattvabodha. Seekers' qualifications. What is permanent? What is impermanent? What is this Atma, which is Nityaha, which is eternal? I don't know that Atma. What is impermanent is this body. Mind is fickle, keeps on changing. It is definitely impermanent. We all know our mind is impermanent. We all know that our body is impermanent because we can see it. But we don't know that there is something called as permanent, which only a guru can come and teach. Only if you approach the guru. What is permanent? Atma. And who can teach you Atma? Not in schools or colleges, but you have to come to 3 sources of Atma, which is Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. If you have Viveka, Vairagyam comes immediately. I know that the world cannot give me happiness and everlasting peace, therefore I will withdraw from the world and learn Bhagavad Gita. World is a false entity. Atma is the reality. So I get 2 qualifications, Viveka, Vairagya. Then I slowly start building up Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. Shama is control of mind. Dama is control of sense organs. Uparama means withdrawal from kama or desire. Uparama means like the tortoise example I told you. Uparama, willingness to give up actions which distracts me from the spiritual path. Titiksha means forbearance, toughness. I will face whatever prarabdha comes to me I will face with a tough mind. That is called as titiksha, fortitude. Shraddha, I have faith in the scriptures. I will lead the life as prescribed by Bhagavad Gita, which is a life of Pancha Mahayajnas and Jnana Yoga. Samadhanam is a characteristic of the mind, is one of the basic characteristics of the mind when you come to Shastra. I can focus, concentrate on certain areas of study. These are all the 6 basic inner wealth of a seeker. What are the first 2 wealth? Viveka, Vairagyam. Third wealth, Shama, Ada, Shatka, Sampatti. 6 basic characteristics of my mind. Mumukshutvam. It is not enough to have only these 3 qualities. I must know that I am suffering in life because of delusion, and delusion and sorrow is because of ignorance about who I am. Therefore, the study of Bhagavad Gita becomes very interesting. I don't want to miss a single talk because I know this will give me eternal happiness. That is the promise of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. Moksha. So we all have to work towards this, and when a teacher can give us this knowledge, we must apply that knowledge. Otherwise, it will be only intellectual gymnastics. The moment I apply it, I can see the benefit of it. And what is the benefit? Sorrow, delusion goes off from my life. It's a promise of Bhagavad Gita. Study the Bhagavad Gita correctly, clearly, understand it, do reflections of those. Whatever you have studied, you reflect on them. After you have reflected on them, correct your vision about yourself. So, Arjuna had the sadhana chatushtayam, he had viveka vairagyam, therefore Krishna decided to teach him. He was temporarily confused about the battlefield. But with a clear mind, when Arjuna, in the 18th chapter, Lord Krishna asked him, I have taught you Atma Vidya. I give you a choice. You can fight or you can retire. What would you like to do? Arjuna says, I want to go and fight. Because he was clear. Similarly, all of us will be clear in our mind what is our duty, what is our role to play in the society, and we will execute our roles and duties perfectly well with Atma Vidya. There are few verses which described Arjuna's mind in the first chapter. I have included them here. Even if I was king of 3 worlds, I am not interested. These people are going to create lot of disturbances in my mind. I am not going to fight. Even if I am killed, it doesn't matter. I don't want to fight. I want to take Bhiksha. These are all the past events which were there in Arjuna's mind. Normally, there are 2 types of delusions we all face. One is called as Samanya Ajnana in Sanskrit, ignorance about self. Now this is, we are born with it. All of us are born with this self-ignorance. It's common to all, and because of this self-ignorance, the I notion is born in the mind. I notion and my notion. Aham and mama. I have to correct this vision of aham and mama. This will go away by Atma Jnanam. When I know I am the Atma, I am the pure self, I will not be identified with the ego I. Actions will go on in the body. Body will act in the world. But the I notion behind the doership which is there, doership will be gone. Therefore, what happens? You have a Jivan Mukta life. When the ego is gone, Aham and Mama is gone, actions go on. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Jigran. In the 5th chapter, this particular aspect will be described. The second delusion is about duty in life. Many people come and ask me also, what is the duty? My duty to study Bhagavad Gita 12 hours a day, or Upanishads and all that, or shall I follow my duties as prescribed in my current status? Many people come and ask me. In the 3rd chapter, Lord Krishna makes this very clear. What does he say? He says, you are in a particular varna and ashrama. Whatever is the duty in a particular varna and ashrama is you have to do that swadharma. So that is the regarding duty. So ignorance is delusion number 1. I don't know who I am, therefore I and my comes, therefore there is sorrow. Ignorance number 2 will come when I have delusion in my mind and I don't know what is my duty. This is the chain of events of cause and effect which happens to all of us. Many of us may not have delusion number 2, but delusion number 1, which is self-ignorance, all of us have. I am husband, I am wife. It's correct, it's okay. But it is a role. It is the role played by the ego which is going as per the prarabdha karma of the body. Understanding that it is a role play is jnani. Understanding that I and mine is, that ego is me, that is the problem. So we have to understand, like Arjuna, do I have sorrow in life? Do a personal introspection. What causes sorrow in life? For each one of us, it may be different. Take a piece of paper, write down, what causes sorrow for me? Does it trouble me every week, every day, every month, every year? Do I have delusions in life? Which is difficult, more difficult, for which you may require a friend to help you. Do I have the qualifications like Arjuna had? If we don't have, we have to become like Arjuna and get the qualification. In the 3rd verse of this chapter itself, Lord Krishna says, cast off that mean weakness of your heart. Hridaya daurbalyam. So, casting off that, you come out of your first step is you come out of your basic delusion. So, in this verse, what does Arjuna say? Clearly teach me what is good for me. Then I am becoming your disciple. You are my teacher. Tell me whether I should fight or not fight. Dharma and adharma he knew, but the problem was his I-ness and mine-ness, which is the problem of self-ignorance. I become your Sishya. You take me in your refuge. You see, many a times you may be a disciple, but you may not find a guru. You may go on searching for a guru. There are many people, many seekers. There are thousands, in the field of spirituality, there are hundreds of talks on Gitas going off every day, every week, across all over the world. There are thousands of seekers, but very rarely we come across a guru. Now that guru comes because of prarabdha karma. Guru also has to accept me and teach me. You ask for the teaching, you surrender, and then this surrender is for spiritual knowledge, not for getting money or getting some other benefits in life. No, this is a spiritual surrender. I bow down to your way of thinking. You correct my mind. What Arjuna says is, I have found the right compass. I surrender to you. What happens in today's world is every student is trying to check whether his guru is really. Many times people ask me, are you realized or not? Are you, then they say, oh, you're not realized. Okay, then I'll go to somebody else. So every seeker wants to check his guru. And anyway, this is a very big topic. I just wanted to give you a very basic information on this front. So what do we have to understand? Sorrow creates delusion. Knowledge of delusion creates an emergency. I must find a guru right now. Like all of you have come to this Bhagavad Gita classes, I'm very happy. Almost like 50 people, 30, 40 people are coming every week. Good. The basic delusion we must acknowledge, like Arjuna, is I have a delusion about who I am, what is my role in the society, what is my duty in the world. All these delusions of sorrow will go away only by Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam will come when you have the qualifications of Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadha, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. You try to get those qualifications, a teacher will be right in front of you. You surrender, you learn, you transform. So the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter, very, very important, where Arjuna tells Bhagavan about his problem and what is going on in his mind, what is relative goodness, what is absolute goodness. Absolute goodness will give me fulfillment. Relative goodness will give me temporary fulfillment. Arjuna's question is not merely what is right and wrong. His question is more to do with how to destroy my delusions and confusions in the battlefield. He is asking for Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, and he is looking for a teacher for this Vidya. Arjuna chooses Sri Krishna as his guru in this verse, in the 7th verse. We'll quickly do the 8th verse.
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat, nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat, yacchokamuchoshanamindriyanam, yacchokamuchoshanamindriyanam, avapya bhuma vasapatmamruddham, avapya bhuma vasapatmamruddham, rajyam suranamapi chadhipatyam, rajyam suranamapi chadhipatyam.
So Arjuna is again approaching Lord Krishna after he says, I want to become your disciple, again he pleads with Lord Krishna and he says, don't tell me to find a solution. I can't find a solution, therefore I am coming to you. I know that I have sorrow in life. This sorrow will not go unless until I know who I am. Sorrow has become a part and parcel of my life. It is boiling my sense organs. I mean, it is like a fire which heats up. Fire heats up. Similarly, my sense organs are heating my mind and I am not able to think properly. My sorrow will not go away easily. Even if I win the battle, I don't think my sorrow will go. It creates a vacuum in my mind. Even if I win even if I get the kingdom, I will be suffering. So basically, Arjuna surrenders and he says, you protect me. And Sanjaya connects the story of what is happening in the battlefield. Next verse.
Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva rishikesham Gudakeshah parantapaha Nayotsya iti govindam Uktva tushnim bhabuvaha.
So this is Sanjaya's verse where he is now concluding what is happening in the battlefield. He says that he gives two titles to Lord Krishna, two titles to Arjuna first. So what are the two titles to Arjuna? Gudakeshaha and Parantapa. Parantapa means a Kshatriya of high caliber. He can destroy the forces. He can destroy his enemies. Gudakesha means he has he has conquered tamas. This is how he is describing Arjuna. So basically, who is the teacher? Rishikesha. Rishikesha means Rishi means controller of senses and mind. Rishika Isha means one who is a master of the sense organs and mind is a Rishikesha. One who, and what is that? It is the consciousness principle in all of us. In Kena Upanishad, we also have this verse, Kene shitam pratiti preshitam manaha, Kena prana prathama preti yuktaha, Kene shitam vachamimam vadanti, chakshushodram kau devo yunati. What controls my sense organs? Willed by whom does the mind gets its objects? Beautiful. It's a beautiful verse which all of us as seekers of knowledge should also have the same questions. We all have a mind, and in the mind I get memories. How, in what light do I see those memories? I am breathing every day. Who is the controller of this breath in this body? I speak. But what is behind? How do I speak? What is the power of speech? So there is an intelligence behind our ears and eyes and tongue and all the sense organs. What is that intelligence? It is Atma. It is the light of Atma. So Krishna gets Rishikesham and Govindam. Rishikesham I explained to you. Govindam means omniscient. So Arjuna says, you are Sarvagya Sarvasaktihi. I want to know from you. Sanjaya tells Dhritarashtra that Arjuna has found a teacher, which is described. The last verse of this section.
तमुवाच हृषीकेशः तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः.
So in this verse, Sanjaya is still commenting what's happening in the battlefield. So he says, right in the middle of the battlefield, two armies are there, and Lord Krishna is having a smile in his face. He knows the problem. He is not at all affected by Arjuna's problems. He knows what Arjuna needs. Even a guru, when you go to him and cry out all your problems, Guru knows what your problem is. He will give you the right solution. Shadimam Twam Prapannam. Teach me that knowledge which will end my delusions in life. What was the battlefield? Conches were blown. Arjuna was in the middle of two armies, not in Himalayas, in his ashram and all that. And what was Bhagavan's reaction? Prahasanniva Bharata. He was not mocking. He was not fault finding. He knew the problem, and the wisdom which Arjuna wanted, he knew. So that is the end of this section with verse number 10. Next week, I am going to start Shankara Bhashya. It's a very profound knowledge, wisdom of the second chapter, and we will see how it goes. Almost 1,500 pages of notes are available in the website of Shankara Bhashya. I am going to test and see how this Bhashyam is received by the seekers in this current batch. If you find it interesting, I will continue. Otherwise, I have another method of going forward. We will start the Bhashyam and we will see I will give you more details once we start the Bhashyam next week. With this, we'll close our discussions today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.